This right here is the Pocketmaster by Sonicake. It is a tiny battery-powered multi-effect processor. This thing has 100 different effects and 20 different amps, and you can program your tones on this device or with an app. You can output in either mono or stereo. There's a tuner, a looper, a drum machine built into this thing. You can also use it as an audio interface. Like I mentioned, it's completely battery-powered. You can see I have no cables running into it. And you can even load third-party impulse responses all onto this tiny little device right here. And this thing only costs $65. Quite a bit of stuff that you can do with this tiny little $65 battery-powered multi-effects processor. I'm going to show you some of the presets in here that I like. I'm going to show you how to program some of your own sounds, and I'm going to show you some extra features that come with it. Pretty easy to use, but I'm going to go over it in detail to see if this is something that is right for you and your needs. Many thanks to Sonicake for sending this over and for sponsoring the video. Just as always, all the opinions in this video are my own, and at the end of the video, I will be doing a giveaway to one of my subscribers, so consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Also, if you live in Europe and any of these countries right here on your screen, I will be on tour this June, so if you're close to any of these tour dates, be sure to come by and say hi. I'd love to meet some of you on tour. But for now, let's check out the Pocketmaster by Sonicake. So here's the Pocketmaster right here. You can see how completely tiny it is. Very simple. You've got USB-C for charging, USB-C for connecting to an audio interface, 1/4-inch guitar in, and 1/4-inch out for headphones or going direct. So I'm going to go out of the Pocketmaster into a direct box. That'll allow me to record the audio. I'm also going to do wireless in and connect that to my guitar, because if you've seen my channel, you know I'm obsessed with wireless. And I'm obsessed with wireless, and I'm obsessed with things being battery powered as well, which is also what's great about the Pocketmaster. This doesn't need any power in order to work. It's got 4 or 5 hours of battery life. Controls on this are pretty simple. This is the way to change your patches. You can scroll through them this way. So you can go up patches or down patches. You'll see that there'll be F or P. F are the factory presets, and then P are for presets. So if you want to program your own, this wheel right here also can be used to change patches as well if you want to go a little bit faster. And you can push in on this encoder and you can turn on Bluetooth, for example, or you can adjust the level of the output. There also are a couple more controls like double tapping and stuff like that, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But the first thing I recommend you do when you get this is just go through some of the presets and play through some of the ones that you like. Here's some of the ones that I found that I liked. And when you realize that you're filming a video demo and you're slightly out of tune, you can push the 2 buttons together to enter the tuner. Very nice that it has a tuner as well. So after you've messed around with some of your presets, let's go ahead and start editing some of these sounds. So I'm going to start on this basic one right here. It's a nice clean tone that I like. So what you can do on the pedal itself, if you just hold this button, you can see you can get to a couple of different settings, but we want to go to effects. Now in here, you can see your pedal board, so you can push these buttons to cycle through them. So you can see I'm scrolling through the effects. So you can see I'm on EQ, go over here, I'm on impulse response, go back here, I'm on the amp, and so on and so forth. So let's go to effect 1, and then I can use this to start programming that effect. So if I want it on or off, I can just click this button, it'll turn it off, click it, and it will turn it on. Scroll over here, I can change the type of effect, so I'm going to push here, and let's say I want it to be a touch wah, or an auto wah, or a boost pedal, or a chorus, and so on and so forth. I'm actually just going to leave it on the compressor because I actually liked that. And I'm going to slide over here, and I can adjust the sustain, I can adjust the volume, and so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and go to the next pedal, go to the drive. Do I want that on or off? This one was off, so let's turn it on. It's obviously way too much, and I don't really like fuzz pedals personally, so let's just set it to an overdrive, and I'm going to bring the gain down quite a bit on that. So you can make all of your changes in here. You also have amp, impulse response, EQ, another effect. You have a delay, a reverb, and also the preset volume. When you're done, if you click these two buttons, that's always kind of to get back. Do you want to save this preset? I'm going to just say no for right now. I do not want to save the preset. But I think it's actually easier to do this in the app. Push this button to get up to Bluetooth, twist it, and enable it. Now this is set up for Bluetooth. So I'm going to connect to it on my phone just like you would any other Bluetooth device. And now first of all, what I can do is I can actually start just playing music from my phone if I wanted to. So I could play a song if I really wanted to. So that's actually playing into the Pocketmaster, so I can play along with like backing tracks or play along while I'm learning a song if I wanted to. But what's really cool is if you open the Sonic Link app, and you can see that it found the Pocketmaster, so I can click here, connect to the device, and I think it's easier to program it this way personally. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. So you can see I can change the presets up here. So let's choose a different one. You can see any changes that I make when I choose a different one, it changes on the Pocketmaster itself. If I go in here and I turn on Effect 2, you'll see that it'll light up here, and I can make changes to the Pocketmaster from the app. So let's program a little bit of these tones with the app, because I think that's a little bit easier, but now you know how to do both ways. So in the app, you can change your presets by clicking up here, and you can choose the one that you want. I'm going to go back to that clean one that I like. If you've made changes, it will prompt you to save your changes, but I don't want to. So let's start programming this patch. So this first one, you have a noise gate. I can click this. This is the only effect that's here. It's just a noise gate and the threshold that's at the beginning. Let's go to the second effect right here. And I like how much easier this is because I can just click over here where it says Comp 2. I can click that and I can see all the different options that I have. So if I want to set it to a phaser, I can choose the types. Let's do a vibe phaser, and I can adjust the depth and the rate. Let's bring it way up just for the sake of the demo. It's obviously way too much. Or I can set it to just a simple boost. I can choose a chorus, and let's say the A chorus. It's obviously way too much, but you get the idea. And I can disable it by clicking right here. I'm going to set that back to compressor 1 because I liked the tone of that. And let's go ahead and enable it. For the drive, same idea. I can click it and then choose the type of drive that I want. Am I looking for an overdrive, a distortion, a fuzz, or a bass drive? I'm going for a clean tone, so I'm not going to add any distortion. Now for the amps, if you click the amp, I have different types based on clean, drive, high gain, or bass. So if I really wanted to clean, this is a really nice clean tone. If I want a little more overdrive, let's try this one. If I want something high gain, I can choose it. Let's go back to a clean one. I like that dark twin. Hit OK, and then you can start making changes. So if you don't want the bright on, you can adjust your EQ, bring the gain up a little more, bring up a little bit more mids, and so on and so forth. Here you can choose your cab. Definitely always mess around with your cabs. A lot of people just think the amp is the big part, but the cab is really going to change your tone a lot. You can see you have a small cab and a large cab, and you also have a place to load your own impulse responses. So I've actually loaded 2 of them in myself, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Let's say I want to change this to a large cab. Change your cabs around. If I'm not happy with what I chose, I can click X and it won't save what I did. Next up, we have EQ. You have a couple of different options. So you have EQ1 or EQ2. EQ1 has these 125 hertz up to 4 kilohertz. 2 is slightly different, 100 up to 6. I'm going to enable that. I'm going to bring down a little bit of that super low end because it's a little bit muddy, and bring down the 6 just a tiny bit. Next up is effect 2. These are actually the exact same as effect 1. So you get it pre-amp and post-amp if you want. Actually, no, I was wrong. There's actually a pitch shifter that's included in this block as an option as well. And it's actually pretty decent. This was played on the guitar. But you are able to move these actually. If you notice, I can click and I can move this around to wherever I want them to be in a slightly different order. You'll notice that drive, amp, impulse response, and EQ have this line around them. That means that I can't reorder those. But you can reorder the other effects, which is pretty cool. Let's go through some of the delays, because delays are obviously important. I'm just going to play through some of these. Warm is a nice one. Tube reverb. Here's a reverse. Not my favorite. And analog. I personally like the tube delay, so I'm going to go with that. And you can adjust your feedback time, your mix, so on and so forth, like a regular delay pedal. I do wish there was a tap tempo. There isn't. You just have a way to set the time. So you can set it slower or faster. I do wish there was a way to do a tap tempo. And then let's do reverb. I'm going to turn off the delay just so you can hear the reverbs by themselves. Let's bring the mix up. This will be a pretty heavy reverb, but that way you can at least hear them. Spring reverb. The ocean one is actually really cool. That's a pretty cool effect. Might get muddy, but it's pretty cool. Dream. I like the plate reverb personally. I'm going to bring that down a bit. And I turn the compressor off. So I'm pretty happy with how that sounds. I'm going to hit the save button. I can choose where I want to save this. So let's save it over that one that was pretty bad. Preset 22, which I wasn't a fan of. And I can name it as well. Let's just call this Scott Clean. Now it is saved as Scott Clean. And I'm happy with that. So that's how you program your patches. And don't forget, you are able to import your own impulse responses in here. If you click Import IR, you can see that I've imported some of these. Just drop these onto your phone or to your iCloud or wherever you want them. Click the one that you want, and then you choose the slot that you want to put it in. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do this. But now, I can click, and I can go to User IR, and I can choose some of the impulse responses that I've imported. And I can use third-party impulse responses in this. Pretty crazy that you can do that on a device this tiny for like 65 bucks. So some bonus features. I already showed you the tuner. If you push on these two buttons, you get a nice tuner right here. So you can stay in tune. Push it again to get out. If you hold the two of them, now you are in looper mode. So you can push this button to record. This is going to be hard to do with one hand, but push it again to play. And then you can improv over it, stop, and clear. Pretty cool. You also, remember, you can push in here and you can change some of these parameters. You can set the effect to be pre or post. You can choose the record level as well as the play volume. And you can also change your patches in here as well while you're playing. In order to get out, remember, just tap these two buttons and you'll get back. If you hold this button, you can get to your settings. We already went over effects. Under settings, you can adjust the input level, which is really great, especially if you have, active pickups or something like that. This is for connecting with USB, which I'll show you here in a moment, but you can choose different settings in here. You can also reset it and find out which version you're on. There is also a metronome in here. I thought it's supposed to be drums, but it only gives me metronome in different time signatures. For some reason, I can only access the drums from the app, but not on the device itself. I don't know if I just had a little glitch or something. To me, it doesn't really matter. I don't plan to use the metronome or the drums in this thing. I like it as a standalone device, but still pretty cool that you have that as an option. There's a lot of things crammed into this tiny little device here. And yeah, that's basically it. Hold the button and go to shut down when you're ready to turn it off. Doesn't even pop when you turn it off, which is great. And if you connect it to your computer, your phone, or your tablet via that USB-C port, you can use this basically as an audio interface. So you can see that Logic has recognized it, and I could set it as my input or as my output device. They've packed so many things into this tiny $65 device here. Pretty cool. So you also can load NAM profile captures. It's a neural DSP capture system that I'm personally actually not familiar with. So I'm going to link to another video down below that shows you how to do those steps. I'm just not as familiar with it, but I know that it's possible to do. If you're interested in that, check out that video. But yeah, like I said, this thing is $65. I'll have purchase links down below, or you can use the QR codes on your screen in order to check this out for yourself. Pretty killer deal for 65 bucks, how much you get in this little device right here. Are there any improvements for it? I mean, I don't know how picky I can be for something that has this many features at this price point. The only thing I could really think of is it'd be really nice if it had a tap tempo for the delay. That's about it. And then, you know, as far as using it live, I mean, you only have 2 buttons on here, so it would be cool if it had like MIDI support or something like that. Again, I don't know how picky I can be for $65. But speaking of MIDI support, on their website, and I did email them to confirm this, they said in some future firmware update, they will add MIDI to this. And that'll be big, especially for being able to perform live with this, because you can definitely perform live with this, and you can just, you know, go up and down a few presets if you don't have a ton of different effect changes that you need to do in a song, but there are workarounds around it. But if they add MIDI to this and you can turn on and off blocks or go to specific presets with MIDI, that's going to be huge. I'm not sure how they're going to do the MIDI since there's no MIDI port on here, so I'm assuming it's going to have to be over USB-C. But once you do that, you could absolutely gig with this thing. And I checked, you can step on these buttons for sure, and it'll change. You don't have to use your fingers. You definitely can step on these buttons, and the time that it takes to change between the presets is pretty minimal. Here's a test that I did for that. So it switches between tones pretty quickly. There's not like a big pause when you switch tones. So yeah, I think you absolutely could gig with this live. If you're someone who has 18 boutique effect pedals and you're trying to gig with it live, this obviously isn't meant for you. But if you just have like, you know, a clean, a rhythm, and then a lead tone or something like that as your main patches for your show, you could have that be presets 1, 2, and 3. If you're on your main rhythm patch, if you ever need to go clean, it's just 1 button press to get there. If you ever need to go to lead, it's 1 button press to get there. So it's totally manageable to do that. And then if you have like a certain song, you could divide it up like preset 4 is the verse, preset 5 is the chorus, preset 6 is the solo or something like that. So if you have a ton of different effects, obviously it'd be a little tougher, but you can definitely structure this out, especially since you get 50 programmable presets in here. Or I've also seen singers who just play guitar on a few songs and they just need like 1 or 2 different tones. This would also be great for that. And also for bass players who don't have a ton of different tone changes that they need to do through a song. But once they add the MIDI, I think that'll definitely be huge more for guitar players as well. And even if you have like a different amp modeler or something that's like your main rig, because this thing is so tiny, I mean, this thing fits in the palm of my hand, you can see that. This is a great backup rig also, because it's also important to always have a backup, especially something this tiny. Pretty awesome how much stuff is crammed into this. I'm definitely really impressed with it. Whether you plan to use it for practice, for a main live rig, or even using it as a backup, I think it's a really killer option. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It's a free way to support the channel, feed the YouTube algorithm gods, and I would appreciate it. Like I mentioned, I am going to do a giveaway to one of my subscribers. I'm going to give away one of these Pocketmasters, so I always try to give back when I can. Thank you guys for all of the support on the channel, and thank you to all my subscribers who have helped the channel grow. So consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And then to enter this giveaway, you just have to leave a comment down below, and you have to let me know if you got the Pocketmaster, how would you use it? Would it be a practice tool? Would it be your main live rig? Or would it be your backup rig? Or is there another way that I'm not even thinking about? But leave a comment down below and let me know how you would use the Pocketmaster. You only have 24 hours to enter the giveaway. I will announce the winner on this date right here. Please remember, do not respond to scammers. Scammers will sometimes show up in the comment section on a lot of YouTube videos, not just mine. But just remember, I will never ask you for money for shipping or anything like that. If anyone asks you for money in the comment section, that is 100% a scammer. Please do not respond to scammers. 2 other videos mine to check out. I did review a tiny, cheap expression pedal that Sonicake also sells. It's the cheapest and tiniest expression pedal that I could find on Amazon. I have a review going over that. And also I did a review of their Pocket Practice Guitar Amp, which is a practice tool that plugs into your guitar. Pretty cool little device. And that was actually the first video that I ever did a giveaway on this channel. So you can check out both those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. If you have any other cool gear you want me to check out, please leave them as a comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on my social media pages at Scott Ewell Music. Be sure to say hi if you're near any of the tour dates or any of the shows that I'll be on tour on in Europe this June. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.